The world is full of rivers. Some serve as trade routes, others have become the foundation of entire cities, and some are traps that can bring death.
There are rivers that can sweep away and destroy entire villages when they overflow. There are also rivers that hide extremely strong currents that are almost impossible to resist. There are large whirlpools that can pull you down. Animals that can kill in just a few seconds. And waters so polluted that millions of people get sick every year. In this video, let's discover 10 of the most dangerous rivers in the world. They are not the most beautiful or the most famous. They are the rivers that for various reasons can turn a simple swim, a sudden flood, or a small chance encounter into something dangerous.
Situation where you might not make it back, so sit tight and turn up the volume.
Because today, we will travel to rivers where jumping into the water could be the worst decision of the day.
But before we start, if you're new to our channel, please click the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you'll always be updated with our latest videos.
Number 10. Orinoco River.
Venezuela and Colombia. We'll start in South America with a massive river that's often associated with the thick forests of the Amazon. The Orinoco River is a vast and almost untouched natural resource. Its delta is like a huge maze made up of river branches, swamps, and mangroves. Wherever you look, you'll see nothing but water and dense vegetation, with only a few signs of human presence. The place looks very beautiful, but it's one of those areas where a simple problem can quickly turn into a major disaster. It's not just the water that's dangerous here, but also the animals that live around it. In these waters, you can find various kinds of animals, including freshwater stingrays with venomous spines, electric eels that can release strong electric shocks, large crocodiles, and anacondas. On the riverbanks, there are many mosquitoes that can carry different diseases, and in the denser parts of the forest, there may also be jaguars. If a boat capsizes, someone gets seriously injured, or there is a severe infection, it's not easy to get to a hospital.
There are no fast roads, no big cities nearby, and it can take a long time before help arrives. The combination of dangerous animals and remoteness of the place and lack of infrastructure is the reason why the Orinoco River is not a place for a simple walk or swim.
Number 9. Mississippi River, USA. Now let's go to the United States. When viewed from a bridge or from the edge of a city, the Mississippi River may look calm. There are cargo ships, barges, fishermen, and long, straight sections of the river. But its appearance is deceiving. Its current is very strong, and there are whirlpools that can pull a person in just a few seconds. The movement of the water is so strong that even if the surface looks calm, there are still strong currents underneath. That's why in many cities along the Mississippi, it's not recommended to bathe or swim directly in the river. This isn't an ordinary beach. It's like a huge brown conveyor belt of water that doesn't forgive mistakes. On top of that, there's the problem of pollution. For many decades, the Mississippi has received fertilizers, industrial waste, and wastewater from vast agricultural and industrial areas. The result is murky and dirty water with very low visibility. Because of this, it's hard to see hidden dangers like pieces of wood, metal, submerged objects, and sudden changes in water depth. When someone falls in, the combination of strong currents, hidden objects, and poor visibility makes rescue efforts extremely difficult. It's not as easy as some people think. Even though this isn't your typical river in a tropical jungle, it's still not a place for swimming. This could be one of the worst places you could choose to swim. Now we're heading to Southeast Asia. The Mekong River flows through China, Myanmar, Laos, Taichung, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. It is a very important part of life in the region. Millions of people depend on it for fishing, irrigation of rice fields, and transportation. But danger arises when the weather becomes severe. During the monsoon season, the river's flow suddenly increases. The water overflows, the riverbanks disappear, and entire villages get submerged. The areas that used to be wide fields during the dry season become a vast expanse of muddy water. It's almost impossible to tell which used to be roads, pathways, houses, or canals. The flood destroys the crops. Houses are swept away from their foundations and roads are closed for several days. The river itself is also hard to predict. There are shifting sandbanks, large swirling currents, and narrow sections where the water suddenly speeds up. The riverbed also changes every season. Many boats are overloaded, have old life vests, or sometimes have no protection at all. If a problem happens, the nearest health center might be very far away. For a tourist, crossing the Mekong might seem like a unique adventure, but for the people who cross it every day, it's a constant danger.
Number 7. Ganges River, India. The Ganges River is one of the most sacred rivers in the world. Millions of people consider it a living god.
Its water is used for bathing, washing clothes, performing rituals, scattering ashes, and asking for blessings.
For many families, bathing in the Ganges holds very deep spiritual significance. But behind this symbolism, there is a darker reality.
Along the river, untreated wastewater, industrial waste, garbage, and organic remains continue to enter.
In some parts, the water can barely handle the amount of filth it carries. There are bacteria, viruses, and toxic substances flowing in the river. That's why even simple bathing can become a serious health risk. In areas around the Ganges, diseases like cholera, hepatitis, and various intestinal infections are widespread, hitting the most vulnerable people the hardest. The danger here isn't a strong current or a wild animal that might attack. The danger is quieter. Microorganisms that can't be seen by the naked eye but can cause the spread of disease and leave long-term effects on millions of people. This is a river that gives life to the body and soul, but it can also make the people who depend on it sick. Number 6. Nile River, Africa. Now let's go to the northeast towards Africa, where the Nile River is located. The Nile has long been associated with pyramids, temples, and ancient civilizations. Its history is connected to the origins of Egypt and to the survival of people who have long depended on its water and flooding for their crops in the middle of the desert. But the Nile also has a dangerous side. In many aspects of life, people's daily routines revolve around the river. They bathe here, fish, do their laundry, and cross using small boats. But interacting with Nile crocodiles and hippos is not safe. They can move easily in murky and muddy waters. They can attack when they feel someone is entering their territory, and they are among the animals responsible for many deaths. Aside from animals, the Nile is also associated with parasitic diseases like schistosomiasis, which is transmitted by tiny organisms found in the water. In rural areas where going to the river is a daily routine, the possibility of getting infected is already a part of everyday life. And when heavy rains come, some parts of the river overflow and sweep away simple houses, crops, and roads. The very river that gives life to millions of people is also a constant threat, so they are forced to live with danger every day. Number 5. Zambezi River, Africa. We're still in Africa, but now we're heading south. The Zambezi River is the river where Victoria Falls is located, one of the most magnificent waterfalls in the world. Here, a massive amount of water falls from a huge cliff. Mist covers the surroundings and the sound of the water is very loud. For a tourist, it is a breathtaking sight. But for someone navigating the river, it can be a deadly environment. Near the falls,
And in other parts of the river, the current of the Zambezi is fast and very strong. There are big waves, submerged rocks, and opposing currents, which require intense control and precise timing.
A single wrong decision can cause a raft to capsize in just a few seconds. The strength of the river also changes depending on the season. During the rainy season, the water volume rises, the currents become faster, and new whirlpools appear.
And like other major rivers in Africa, hippos and crocodiles also roam the banks and shallow parts of the river, adding another layer of danger.
That's why some parts of the river can only be accessed with local guides who know every rock, every bend, and every change in the water level by heart.
Number 4. Amazon River, South America. We're going back to South America, but this time we're heading to a true giant, the Amazon River. This is the river with the largest water flow in the entire world. In some parts, the distance between the two banks is so wide that it feels like you're looking at the sea, not a river. In the Amazon, the water doesn't just flow. The whole river system is incredibly powerful. The current may seem gentle when you're on a boat, but it quickly carries away logs, branches, and other debris. Hitting a submerged log can damage the hull of the boat or suddenly capsize a small watercraft. Viability in the water is also low, and the riverbed constantly changes due to rain and flooding. And of course, there are also animals. In different parts of the Amazon, you can find piranhas, caimans, anacondas, freshwater stingrays with venomous spines, and electric eels. In some places where freshwater and seawater mix, bull sharks can also swim upstream. And all of this happens in a vast area where some villages can be several hours or even days away from the nearest town. If a serious accident happens in the middle of the forest, evacuation is very difficult. The Amazon is a massive system where the margin for error is very small, especially for people who are not familiar with the river. Number 3. Yangtze River, China. Now, let's move to Asia. The Yangtze River is the longest river on the continent and passes through one of the most densely populated regions in the world. Along its length, you will find cities, the dam, factories, and vast farmlands. It is a major economic lifeline and is very important for China.
But the problem is, when a river this big gets out of control, the effects can be enormous.
Throughout the 20th century, several major floods on the Yangtze became true disasters, resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths and millions of people forced to evacuate. Entire communities were submerged. Crops were destroyed. Diseases related to stagnant, dirty water also spread rapidly. Currently, the Yangtze is managed through major infrastructure projects like the Three Gorges Dam, which helps control the flow of water and generate energy. But these large-scale infrastructure projects also add new complications. If a flood exceeds expectations, or if there is a problem with a dam,
The impact on areas downstream of the river can become much greater. So, the Yangtze is dangerous not only because of its strong currents or local flooding,
but because any major change in the river can affect entire regions and millions of people all at once. Number 2. Brahmaputra River, Yarlung Changpo, Tibet, India, Bangladesh. We're almost at the end, and here's a river that changes its name as it continues its journey, but its fierce nature never changes. In the Tibetan Plateau in Tibet, it is known as Yarlung Changpo. Here, it passes through a very deep canyon that can rival some of the largest canyons in the world. The water flows between towering mountains, forming a series of strong currents and interconnected waterfalls.
there are very few safe places to stop, and if you make a mistake, there's almost no chance to recover. When the river emerges from the mountains and enters India and Bangladesh, it is called the Brahmaputra, and the surroundings also change in appearance.
The water is no longer confined to a narrow canyon. Instead, it spreads out over a vast plain.
During the monsoon season, the river overflows, covering fields, towns, and roads. turning the whole area into a vast gray sea that moves slowly but with tremendous force.
These floods happen every year. They force hundreds of thousands of people to leave their homes and destroy the crops that many families need to survive. So this single river system has two different kinds of dangers. In the highlands, it's a nightmare for anyone who tries a whitewater expedition.
In the lowlands, it's a recurring threat that affects the lives of millions of people. Number 1, Congo River, Africa. And we've reached number 1 on the list, the Congo River. This is the second largest river in Africa, but what really makes it stand out is its depth. In some parts, its depth reaches over 200 meters, which is deeper than many areas of the sea near the coast. When you combine its extremely deep waters and its very strong current, it creates unusual flow patterns. In its final section, near the Atlantic Ocean, the Congo River narrows and the powerful Inga Rapids are formed. It's a series of powerful waterfalls and intense turbulence where a tremendous amount of hydraulic energy is accumulated. Imagine millions of liters of water flowing between the rocks, crashing down on uneven consecutive sections and creating huge whirlpools, waves several meters high, and currents coming from different directions.
This is an environment that even the best and bravest whitewater experts treat with great caution.
It's not just technical knowledge that's needed here. In many areas, there is little infrastructure, few access points, and limited possibilities for rescue. When something goes wrong, it's very difficult to reach the location and get someone out who needs help. In addition, there are also hippos and crocodiles in some parts of the river.
The region has also experienced prolonged political instability, which makes everything even more difficult. In the 21st century,
a large part of the Congo River still remains almost completely beyond human control.
After this journey, it's clear that a river is never just simply flowing water. It can be a boundary, a trade route, the source of a civilization, and at the same time, a constant danger. There are rivers that are deadly in astonishing ways.
Easy to see, floods that destroy everything in their path. Others quietly bring danger through diseases, pollution, or accidents that happen in remote areas that are rarely reported. In all these situations, the communities living beside these rivers are forced to learn how to live with an environment that gives life, but also constantly tests their safety. If you enjoyed this journey through the most dangerous rivers in the world, like the video and subscribe to Noel Polo Television, and tell us in the comments which other river you would add to this list.
See you in the next video.